Hi everybody, this is Robert from the Anglo House Academy. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how I use Google Docs as a virtual whiteboard for my online classes. I think it's a great platform. So let's just dive right into it, okay? First you need to open up a Google Docs. You need to give it a name. If not, it won't save. So there. Okay. This, by the way, is my Facebook. If you want to follow, you're more than welcome to join. Okay, so the first thing I do when I start a new class is I come over here to share. I share this link with all of my students because they can also interact on this document. The great thing is that in real time, you can have several people writing at the same time. And as a teacher, I can see what everybody's writing, so that really does help. Also, I have everybody do their homework here instead of sending me individual emails or whatever. If I have 10 people in a class, I don't have to open 10 mails. I have everything right here. Plus, there's an added benefit, I think, that students can see other students' corrections, okay, the errors that they make, and they can learn from that. Sometimes I'll also have students correct each other, and that also helps them to really focus on trying to find mistakes, errors, etc. Okay, so back to sharing. Click on share. Two ways you can share. This is the old way, what I call the old way. You include emails here, and I don't like it because you have to send an email, the student has to open it, respond, get permission. I think it's a bit lengthy. Google has added this feature, Get Link, which is really fast. So click on Get Link. By default, you get the restricted option, okay, by default. I always use anyone with the link. It depends on the level of security that you want to give your document. Come over to Viewer, open that, and there's three different options. Viewer is for somebody who you only want to see the document. They can only read it. They cannot edit. A commenter is somebody who can make a comment in the right-hand margin. We'll see that later. And then there's the editor, and this is the one I always use because I want my students to participate and I want them to write in the document, so they have to be able to edit. Copy the link, and then you're done. Okay, now you have the link copied. What you want to do now is send that link to your students. You can send it via email, you can send it through whatever platform you use, Classroom, Skype, Zoom. Okay, I use Skype, so I open up the chat box and I paste that link in the chat box and all the students can see it. They open it, the document opens, and as the document opens, you will see here in the upper right hand corner some different colored icons start to appear. Each icon represents a student. Okay, so say if in your class you have 5 students, then there's going to be 5 different colored icons, and on the page you're going to have 5 different colored cursors that match the color of the icons, okay? And each of those cursors is the student. Now the other way is I use WhatsApp a lot. I have it downloaded onto my computer. I'm using a laptop with Windows, and I always make groups in WhatsApp for my students. Okay, that way I can communicate with them all at once. Sometimes I'll just include the link in the WhatsApp group and upload it there. So that's how to share. Let's look at how to correct students' exercises. Let's take, for example, a simple sentence. A student writes, Okay, this is an exercise that a student does, and I get to correct it now. Okay, some very common mistakes. I go to the beach. We're talking about past tense, of course. Okay, so I will highlight the error. I will not use the autocorrect because then it comes up in the same black font. Okay, and I want them to see the error. So Control Z and I go back to that. So I ignore this. I'll go to a different color up here, text color. Okay, you can use whichever one you want. I choose red. And now I cross out the mistake. Okay, and I think it's in format text, Strikethrough. Okay, I use Alt plus Shift plus 5. I've got it memorized, or you can just click on that. I like to memorize that step because coming up here every time consumes a lot of time. So now I've crossed out the error, and what I do is I can either click here, okay, and put the cursor there, or if it's highlighted, I'll use the arrows on the keyboard, and I do the right arrow to the right, and that takes the cursor there. Now I want to undo the strike-through feature. So I'll go to Alt-Shift-5, all at the same time, space, okay, this summer I went. There's the correction. Now he can see, or she can see, the mistake they made and the correction. I went to the beach on Portugal. Okay, there's a mistake. So color, Alt-Shift-5, right arrow, Alt-Shift-5. There's the correction. And here's a also very common error. Okay, and this one I'm not going to cross out. I'll just simply correct it. Okay. If I want the student to understand a grammar point, or I want to explain something, I'll highlight it and come over to this plus. This is the comment box that I talked about before, and here I can add any comment that I want. Comment there. Now when the student goes back and looks at this document, they will see that this has been highlighted. They'll click on that and the comment will appear. Okay, and you can do that with any of these mistakes. Let's stay with this mistake. Okay, let's say that I want to have the student review a grammar point. For example, this preposition. I can do several things. I like the drag and drop function because it puts material right here in this document, which is good because 1 month, 3 months down the line, they can come back and find all of this material, okay, like when they're going to study for an exam. So the drag and drop function is very convenient. You cannot use PDFs. Google Docs doesn't accept them, but it does accept images. So JPEGs, and I think the other one, PNGs, I think they are. I always use JPEGs. And the advantage to this also is that you can take it right off the internet. You can find an image, right click, copy, come back here, right click, paste, and the image goes right into the document. So in this case, I want the student to review the prepositions. So I'll go to my files, okay, and I already have this opened. This is the image that I want the student to review, to study. So I'll click on it, drag and drop, boom, there it is. And now the student can see on, we're talking about places, so on is incorrect, he wants in, countries, etc. So that's one way of doing it. Another way is to highlight the error. When you highlight, you get the comment box. But before I go to the comments, I'm going to go to my Google Cloud. And in Google Cloud, I have a lot of images and a lot of web pages, the URLs that I've saved. So I'll go to my Google Cloud, and again, I already have this open. Okay, this is all English classes and grammar and lessons, etc. Okay, and this is where I have the image that I just dragged and dropped. Now, since it's stored in the cloud, I need a link. So I'll click on this, okay, highlight it, come over here to Get Link, click on that. Again, I choose anyone with the link. Come over here, I choose Editor, so they don't have to request permission to open it. Copy the link, I'm done. Go back to the document, okay, which has already been highlighted. I'll come over to Comments, and now I'll say what I want the student to do. Review prepositions, Control V to paste the URL, and now the student, all the student has to do is click on that, and they'll be redirected to the page that has the image. And there it is. Okay, let's go back to the document. Another thing you can do is maybe right here, highlight it, go back, get the link, okay, which I already have. I'll just repeat it though. Click on whatever it is you want to share. Get link, anyone with link, editor, copy the link, done. Come back here. This has already been highlighted. Now, on my keyboard, Control K, and this little window opens. And now, Control V, and that puts the URL, the link, in there, apply, and it's turned it into a link. Student clicks on it and opens the page. There it is. Let's say, for example, I want the students to work on exercises. In this case, prepositions. It can be anything. And as you know, internet is full of excellent websites that have exercises. So I want them to do some exercises. All I have to do is, whatever the homework assignment is, do these exercises, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, turn it into a link. Find a web page that has the exercises I want. In this case, I've already opened it. It's this one. Copy the URL. I right-clicked, okay? And I copied the URL. Come back here, highlight, Control K, Control V, enter. And now all they have to do is open the web page and they have the exercises. Okay, well, I hope that helps people. I'll upload this preposition graph on my Facebook page, and you can download it from there. Okay, so feel free to leave any comments, or if you have other ideas on how to use Google Docs, I'd love to know. So thank you much. Bye.